Nice t-shirt, Donatas. Nice t-shirt.
I knew something special was coming today.
From Andy.
From Andy, obviously. Andy Steph Obst did his thing in the third quarter. The quarter which kind of defined why Germany is so great and why they're so serious Eurobasket gold medal contenders. The team to beat for Serbia to win the gold medal.
For sure. Deadly quarter, and started probably from the defensive end. First of all, they intensified their defense. They got some stops finally. If we remember the first half, in the first half, there were a lot of late closeouts. Montenegro was converting their shots, and then there was no lead from Germany's side. I guess they also didn't convert their own makes. They didn't convert their own shots. They created a lot of good shots, Germany did in the first half, but just couldn't make them. Remember Modolo stepping back a few times. Dennis Schroeder had all the space he wanted, didn't make those shots, but then third quarter, things changed as soon as shots started falling in. And like you said, like you started, it was all about Andy Obst and those three-pointers.
It was not actually all about Andy. And again, we are reacting to Germany's victory against Montenegro. 30-point game, but after two quarters, Germany was only up by 3.
Yeah.
And Andy Obst scored 12 points. Germany won the quarter 33-12. But actually, Andy Obst, Dennis Schroeder, and Franz Wagner, they scored 25 of 33 Germany's points. And Obst was amazing, of course, and he kind of got Montenegro's defense kind of off guard. And I love this, like, why Germany is so great. Yeah, they have Dennis Schroeder. And for instance, his first step is basically unguardable in the Eurobasket. Montenegro kind of tried to force him to shoot threes, and it kind of worked. Because as soon as you try to kind of pressure him, there's no chance to keep up with him, and he starts to drive. You cannot stop Franz Wagner when you're one-on-one because he's too big, he's too physical, and especially when the referees allow such a contact, he just easily goes to the free throw line. But another thing, and of course, Andy Obst, 4 threes in the third quarter, but I love this one moment, this transition possession by Germany so much, which describes that it's not also about the individual talents, but about the team chemistry and continuity. Germany made another great defensive stop in the third quarter. It's an early transition offense. You don't have any advantage in transition, but you kind of, you're running toward the court. And it was Dennis Schroeder on the one side, and Andy Obst was kind of running and sprinting to the other. And I saw they had that look. They had this eye contact. And suddenly, Voigtman and Tiemann stops. They make a double screen. Obst also stops running. He pops out, and Kyle Allman was his defender. And, Kyle Allman had actually a great game. But he's not used to this Germany's greatness, so he couldn't catch up with Obst's quick decision. And Andy, basically from 9 meters, he came up, then it's just threw a quick pass, and it's a three-pointer. And it's like Germany's magic, Germany's casual game in FIBA tournaments, which kind of describes why I love this team so much.
And that's what started it, that shot from very far, and then 3 more three-pointers. Essentially, I remember the lead was 3, then it became 10. And then we started seeing more stops, more quick threes, the transition play. Actually, very high tempo game from the very beginning. The Germans set the tempo real high. Actually, the first possession was probably 1.2 seconds long. The first outlet pass that finished in a layup. But what I wanted to say is that the lead just grew in seconds. It shows how Germany, if you just allow them to play their game, if you keep letting them shoot, which they did in the first half, like I said, just missed some shots. If you keep letting them shoot, they'll eventually start making shots. And it really, for me, was more about the defensive end where they picked up from the third quarter, where they actually started getting stops. Because let's face it, Montenegro is a very solid opponent, and I think they showed that they have the potential to be competing not just for like the fourth spot in the group. I think they'll be a problem for both Lithuania and Finland to figure out. It won't be an easy game for either of those two teams, even though we from the beginning kind of have thought about the second and third positions being for Lithuania and Finland. I think Montenegro is going to have some success against these teams just because of Nikola Vucevic, number one. We saw his size and his ability to stretch the floor, plus play make actually from the five position. Those perimeter on the perimeter, top of the key passes, some high post passes. He found his teammates wide open, and guys like Kyle Allman, for example, made those shots this game. I think he was at some point 3 of 3 from the 3-pointer. He finished with 4 threes out of 5. So generally, I think it's a dangerous team. They got the size. They got Simonovic as well. So I think the score doesn't necessarily reflect the level of these two teams.
Yeah, kudos to Montenegro, and especially Vuc. It's his last tournament with Montenegro. He's the reason why actually Montenegro is on FIBA's map, because since he started playing for the national team, the first Eurobasket appearance they made was 2011. And since then, they were always there. And I think that they were just lacking some better fit around Vucevic, and also kind of lacked some more luck with the draw of those FIBA tournaments to be more successful and to go far in those tournaments. But as you mentioned, I mean, it's a pleasure to see Vucevic creating for others, those passes, him being so tall and able to make those 3-pointers, to get those rebounds, but also to create for others. It's something you always love to watch. I love those high IQ players, which Vucevic is obviously is. He finished the game with 23 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. This is the reason why I actually drafted in our BasketNews fantasy. 30 efficiency points. And in the first half, he was actually even better, 14 points, 7 rebounds. But as you mentioned, Germany kind of stepped up their defense. They started to pressuring Vucevic at first, not letting him to create from the perimeter, not letting him just basically breathe. And when you have guys like Daniel Theis, when you have Johannes Thiemann always being basically under his skin, it kind of, you could feel the impact, because then they started to try to isolate Kyle Allman off the ball. So basically, when you exclude those two guys, Montenegro just lacks of talent and creators on the court, and you could in some situations you even could see Allman being kind of irritated by the defense, and at the same time his teammates not opening or not just helping to carry the ball and just get open. So it's, of course, it was a great effort by Germany's defense, but again, it's hard to catch up with them, with their depth, with the talent they have. You could say they had a big free in this game, because Wagner finished the game with 22 points, 8 rebounds. Schroeder had 21 points, 4 assists. Obst, 18 points. Maudolo also 10 points, 6 assists. But generally, it was just a team effort. They all make this Germany's Formula One car work really, really good.
Yeah. 43 points allowed in the first half, 33 allowed in the second. And when you look at points scored, only 46 points in the first half from Germany. All those shots they just missed, and then 60 points in the second half.
Yeah, and
big contrast.
We all know that Germany is talented offensively, but I think that their defense was a bit underrated, and especially in the friendlies, they were allowing 84 points per game in those exhibition games. But I remember talking with somebody who played against Germany in those exhibition games before the Eurobasket, and they said that, hey, you could feel that, for instance, Dennis Schroeder is basically playing at his, fourth gear, not at his maximum speed, which you could feel both offensively and defensively. And I think that just in general, this team, which was basically started and built in 2022, they know when to shift those gears. So they were, of course, not playing their full potential in those preparation games, but when it matters, they can step up. Like in the last FIBA World Cup, they were allowing only 73 points until the medal round. So with their personnel that they have, with the size. They're good in those switch-all situations. They're good at trying to pressure the ball with guys like Bonga, for instance, or I know even Shorter and some others. Even Obst was doing solid job defensively. I mean, it's a full package. This is the big threat to Serbia.
I agree, but at the same time, I need to see a bit more of them playing against teams with real traditional bigs, because when you're going to play Serbia, you're going to have to figure out what to do with Nikola Jokic, and if you're going to play Serbia, if you're going to meet them in, let's say, semifinal or the final. But what I'm trying to say is that I think basically their shorter front line, they're smaller bigs who are able to shoot. That's very nice. You got guys who can stretch the floor. All three bigs, Vogtman, Tiemann, Thijs, they all can shoot. But it's a lack of size. It's just physical things, There's just a bit of a lack of size. Of course, Vogtman is probably the tallest out of them all, but he's not very physical center. So I want to see, because we'll have these matchups even against Lithuania, against Markkanen's Finland. We'll see how this front line will deal with a big, like, let's say, Valančiūnas or a big like Markkanen. And then I'll be a bit more confident about how they can handle, let's say, a Serbia. But yeah, this is what I want to see.
I get it, and it's also very early, and they were playing in Montenegro, so you cannot draw a lot of conclusions. But again, this third quarter just showed how good they can be when they play their full speed and their actual game.